Monday, I'm going to have some handouts that will allow you to kind of practice chapter 1, practice the histogram stuff, because, I might as well say this now, because, of course, on Wednesday, we're going to have a quiz. Quiz on chapter 1 through section 2 point, what was it, Jeff? 2.2. Yeah.
A week from today?
Oh, yeah. So this is in 1.3, but it's also in 2.2. This is 2.2, histogram stuff. I like it. I like it. And of course, I don't know if you guys have noticed what happens 2 weeks from today. Our first test. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shnikes. All right. So, all right. Let's do our own thing here. Let's get this out of here. Everybody's got this stuff, right? As I erase it. All right, so let me make up some data. Sure, all right, I like it. Yummy. Data. So what's this data represent? I don't know. Let's see, not ages again. This data represents grades on a 50-point quiz. Why not? Because it's all fake anyway. Sorry. So when I teach about some idea, I will make up fake data lists on the spot just to talk about the idea. On quizzes and tests, I like to kind of try to give you real data from somewhere. I go to the Census Bureau, I go to your data that you give me in the surveys that you're all filling out for me, right? Yeah. First thing I want to do, oh, you got all this. There's something called a stem and leaf plot. The book is less interesting to call it a stem plot, but it is a stem and leaf plot. And it's actually, thank God, it's not really weird at all. You know, it sounds like it will be. Stem and leaf. What is it about that data that's sort of repetitive, that's repeated? There's a bunch of numbers that are in the 20s, 30s, 40s. You with me? Yeah. There's none of the teens or 50s. You with me? So my stems would be 2, 3, 4. See how they're kind of categories, right? This is a nice way to kind of like sort data if your teacher hasn't shown you how to sort it in a calculator yet. So let's see, let's get our 20s. Let's try to get our 20s in order. What's my lowest 20 there? 21. Now watch, here's how it works. Just going to put a 1. 21, 20. Looks like 24, right? And then 26. Have I missed anybody? 21, 24, 26, 28, 27, 28, 29. There you go, buddy. Thank you. Is that hard? Okay. And then 30s, 31, 32, 35, 39. 1, 2, 5, 9. And then 40s. Sweet. 41, 45. Looks like I got everybody. Thank the gods. Yes?
I have a question. So you're doing it this way, but when I took this class last semester, they told me to be set it up in the right order, so when you're doing it, you can see the midpoint and subtract.
Oh yeah, we're not there yet.
And then get the.
We're not there yet. We're not doing all that shit yet. So I'm just showing you stem and leaf plot. You could actually use it to put a relatively small sample in order kind of quickly. You see that? if I give you a much longer list of data, which I will, then we're going to talk about putting in the calculator, getting it to sort it, and then stem and leaf plot will be easy as shit because it's already, right? So I'm not skipping that. I'm not there yet. Okay. This isn't complete because, go with me, don't write this down, but my data could have all been 2.8, 2.4, 3.1. You guys kind of with me? In which case, the stem and leaf would look exactly like this. It's just that my key has to tell me. In this case, the key would be 2/1 means 2.1, but obviously that's not what this shit was. What does 2/1 mean? 21. So that's just how to tell somebody how to read this. So your stem and leaf plot's not complete unless you put that key. Does everybody understand what just happened? Mm-hmm. So if the data had been 2.8, 2.4, 3.1, this would have been exactly the same. I would have just had this say that. Bam! And then everybody knows how to read all this stuff. That's kind of nice. Also, okay, Jeff, calm down. If I tilt my head this way, or you don't even have to do that, this sort of makes its own little histogram in a way. Because what's the class has the most stuff in it? In the 20s, unfortunately, right? Most people scored kind of bad in their 20s out of the 50 points. Maybe? Okay, now, let's make this the classes. Yeah, we're doing okay. So just to remind you what I just said earlier, you've got to try the homework out with this stuff. Monday, I will have a handout that covers all this stuff that you guys work on, then we'll do it together, and that will sort of help us get ready for the quiz on Wednesday, right? Because I know I'm talking a lot today. I don't normally talk this much, but I got a lot of shit to throw at you. So, now that we got them in order, how do I set up my classes? So, here's how I do this. Let's say for some reason I want to panel this wall with wood paneling. And let's say that I want to use 7, because 7 is my favorite number. I want to use 7 panels. You guys with me? And I want each panel to be the same width. Can you physically see this in your head? How can I figure out how wide each panel has to be so that they cover this wall? What's the important thing to know first? How long the wall is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe, let's say 45 feet. I don't know. What I do in my head, I try to lay 6-foot people on the ground, and then I count them. I don't know how you guys estimate. If you're a carpenter, you might definitely should be able to estimate better than me. Is everybody with me so far? Mm-hmm. So why do I have to know how long I got to go? Because I want to cover the whole distance. Mm-hmm. And I want to cover it using 7 wood panels. So how wide would each panel have to be then? I would take 45. You can do it. Just physically what makes sense. How do I figure out how wide each panel has to be? How do I figure out how many panels, 7 panels fit into 45 feet? How big would each one have to be? Well, what operation would you use? Division. Doesn't that make physical sense? 45 feet divided by 7 panels tells me how many feet each panel gets. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very physical idea. Correct? So here we do the same thing. The number of classes is the range of the data. How wide is the data? Like how long is that wall? Divided by, and instead of panels, I'm going to have rectangles. I'm going to have classes. Divided by the number of classes. Isn't that what we just did? The range is like from there to there. That's how wide it is. Divided by the number of panels, the number of classes I want to use. Will tell me how wide each one has to be. Okay, I like it. So, what do we got in this case? What's the range of my data? What's the highest data point? 45? And what's the lowest data point? 21. So how wide is that? How long? What's the range? It goes from 21 to 45. How long is that? What do? Subtract. So it's high minus low. So 40, what was it? 45 minus 21. We'll do the number of classes in a second. That is, thank you. All right, here's a very important note. For our class, the least classes you can use is 5. You can't use less than 5 classes. And the most would be about 10. Now, to be honest, does this make sense? When we use more and more classes, if you had more and more data. We're not going to have 800 data points, thank the gods, right? I'm not going to make you work with 800, maybe 700. No, right? I'm not going to make you work with that much data. So we're normally going to use 5 or 6, maybe 7. So let's use 5 classes. Yeah. What is 24 divided by 5? You want to know? Watch. To divide by 5, you double 48, and then you move the decimal back once, 4.8. Because if I double it, it's divided by 10, and then I move the decimal one and divide by 10. Or you just do it like that. Right? So you get 4.8, right? Thankfully, we round up. Okay, let me stop for a second. That's basically what we did with the panels. The difference when I'm talking about it just with the numbers is I can over-cover my data. I just want every data point to have a place to go. So you would, even if this came out to be 4.3, you would round up to 5. Otherwise, you're not covering the whole data. You're under-covering. That's no good. Okay, maybe. Cover your whole S. So you got to over-cover. I just figured out how wide each class has to be. So that's going to be how wide the rectangles are going to end up being on my picture, right? So what are my classes going to look like? So I can start from 21. Now watch. If we're going to do it the book method, it's where it really sucks. If the first class starts at 21, where's the next class got to start if they're 5 apart? 26. Does everybody cool with that? Mm-hmm. Which means this goes up to what? 25. I love it. You can't put 26 there also, because then where the hell does 26 go? It's got 2 homes. It's got to have 1 home for it to go to, or else you get all confused. Right? Poor little thing. You guys see that? That is the problem with that method. I'm not saying you can't use it. If you did it the other way, it'd be 21 up to 26. 26 up to 31. Right? But here, I just keep adding 5. Add 5 there, add 5 there, add 5 there. I think they get it, Jeff. Okay. Well, you got to add 5. Yeah, you did. Good job, buddy. All right. You guys see that? It's 5, 5, 5, 5 all the way down. If you want to do it this way, feel free. It's either way you do it, I don't care. You're not going to get bonus points because you do it this way. Now, how do I calculate the frequency? How frequently does data show up from 21 to 25? Twice. You guys see that? Maybe? Do you understand the person? I had a person that would do, not just the person, but so they would do 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Because they went, there's 4s, 4. No, how many data points fall in each class? 2 fall there. How many fall from 26 to 30? 4. How many fall from 31 to 35?
3.
1, 2, 3. 36 to 40? 1. And then 41 to 45? 2. And then you do the same thing we did earlier. You make them into percentages. How many total are there? 12. Right? There's a total of 12. And this is a really good place to go back and make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Thank God. What sucks is when you got 12 there, but there's 13. Right? You with me? That's the worst thing. That's those. You ever seen the ads that say make so much money from home? It's data entry jobs. Oh, God, holy shit. Data entry is the worst thing in the world. Oh my God. But I put up with it because I love the statistics, so you got to put up with that shit. And then you can make relative frequency. So what would the relative frequency be for the first class? There's 2 of them out of 12. 16.7. And then is everybody with me? So the actual mathematics in here, not hard. Just round correctly. That's 16.6666, right? So 16.7. 4 out of 12 is 1/3, which everybody should know is 33.333333. 3 out of 12 is 1/4, is a nice one. 25%. 1 out of 12. 8.3.
Yeah.
3 out of 3, yeah. And then 2 out of 12 again. Well, 2 out of 12, yeah, 16.7. Oh, God, Jeff. Got to the very bottom, sorry. Okay, and then you would make a histogram like we just did. I kind of want to wrap it up there, I think, so we have enough time to do this. If I make the histogram, what would the scale look like real quick? If I do it this way? Where would I start?
20.
20,
And go up to
20,
25.
25. And then I just keep adding 5, because that's this. Blah, 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 blah. What's the title down here? What's the label? You guys remember? Quit, no.
Oh, yeah, that's
I was
right.
trying to be a little bit creative.
Quiz grade.
Quiz grades, and then I could ask for a relative frequency. What would the scale be there for the relative frequency? I've just got to go maybe 5s again, right? Like we just did. I got to capture this. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Hopefully you're okay with figuring out scale. Do you have to use 5? No. You could use 7. You could use whatever. You could use 10. Might be a little too little. You want a little more resolution for yourself. Yeah, maybe? Okay. All right, so on Monday, I'll have, like I said, a sheet that's got chapter 1 up through this for us to review. So what I want us to do right now, please, is go ahead and get your stuff all together and then head out the door. We're going to go that way, go very slowly that way, so I can get in front of you guys. You with me? We're going to go on a field trip. Start going that way very slowly so I can get in front of you and actually take you somewhere. The last semester, they just went. And I'm like, what the shit?